Hello everybody. So this is the first assignment for December 18th. Again, there's going to be two of them. And there's one additional step. So the first step that we had been doing was add or subtract the number to the other side. And the second step was always divide the coefficient on both sides. Now, there's an additional step that it's going to come before this. How about we call it A? It's going to come before it. That step is always going to be add or subtract x's on both sides. Oops, both sides. So you get just one x. Okay, so here goes. I'm going to start by subtracting the 10d. Okay, so that's a d in this one, not an x, no big deal. So now I have negative 5 is greater than 11d minus 10d is 1d minus 2. Now it looks just like these ones. Start by adding or subtracting the plain old numbers to the other side, the side from the side with the variable to the other side. Negative 3 is greater than d. Now, this brings up an interesting question. You need to be careful. It's going to give you the letter first, and you have to choose a drop-down menu. Now notice it's pointed to the right. Don't misinterpret this when you go to do it. With the read from the letter, d is less than negative 3. So as it's written, that's the correct choice. I know it's pointed to the right, but the variable's on the right. It's pointed at the variable. So that's the one you need to choose. Okay? Let me type that in. Now, very easily, you could interpret it this way. I'm going to rewrite it. I chose to move the 10d to the right. You could start by moving the 11d to the left. To do that, you'd have to subtract it. This would give you negative 1d minus 5 is greater than, this is gone, negative 2. Now I would add 5 to both sides, and you have negative 1d is greater than 3. Okay? Now, to finish, you have to get rid of this negative 1, so you have to divide it out. So then you have d, you have to turn the inequality, because you divide it by a negative number, is negative 3. This is the same answer as this one. It doesn't matter which way you do it, but I think, and the reason this one was more work, is because you moved the larger amount of d's to the other side, so it created this negative. So when you divided, you had to change the inequality. Okay? I usually move the smaller one, or if one is negative, to try and avoid having the negative coefficient, so I don't have to divide a negative and I don't have to flip the inequality. It's not wrong if you do, I just think it's more work if you do. Like this. If I subtracted, whoops, I got ahead of myself there. If you subtracted the 4m from both sides, you'd have negative 5 is less than negative 3m plus 2. Eventually, you're going to have to divide by a negative, which means you're going to have to subtract or flip the inequality. So let's try it this way. This is 1m. If I subtract that m from both sides, I end up with a positive coefficient, so I don't have to flip the inequality. Okay? It's not wrong doing that, but I think it's easier if you don't have to worry about flipping the inequality. Now, I don't want you guys to worry about this if you're having trouble understanding the point. Whoops. 7/3. Oh, I thought all the answers would be whole numbers, but unless I copied it wrong. Nope, I didn't copy it wrong. Okay, so it's 7/3. So that's the correct direction, and you would just go 7 the slash 3. Okay? If you had done it this way, just to prove it to you, whoops, minus 2. So I get negative 7 less than negative 3m. When you divide by the negative 3, that becomes positive. The inequality has to flip, and you have m. notice it's still pointing at the m. And when you go to type it in, you have to remember that it has, whatever direction it's pointing, if it's pointing at the m, you have to choose it. If it's pointing away from the m, you have to choose that one. Okay? All right, let's try one more. So with that idea, if I move by subtracting the 9c to the other side, I'm going to end up with a negative. Again, I'm trying to avoid that. So I'm going to subtract 4c. So I get 5c minus 1 is less than negative 5. Add the 1, add the 1. 5c is less than negative. Yeah. Did I do it wrong? No. That's 5. Again, we're going to get fractions. I'm just anticipating that you're not getting fractions, but I was just guessing you guys were going to get whole numbers. So c is less than negative 4/5. Okay? Yep. Yeah, because I added the 1. I'm not copying anything wrong. I'm just kind of, usually they're not giving you guys ones with fractions, so I'm still a little puzzled, like, oh, makes me nervous. Am I doing something wrong? Some silly arithmetic error? Nope, I'm not making one. So that's the correct symbol. Otherwise, you'd pull the pull-down menu to pull the correct symbol and type in 4/5. Okay? Thanks for your time. Have yourself a great